Alright, so quick profile here on my Manndium deck. So, two different versions of the deck that I've made is both a going first and a going second deck. As you can see, this is obviously the going first version where I'm prepared for Max C. This deck's biggest weakness, other than Duel and Lockbird, is Max C. So having as many things as possible to protect you from that is what's important. So to get right into it, got the two Gammas for Max C. Also can stop Shifter, but when you're playing a synchro heavy version of the deck, you can play through Shifter pretty well, so you don't really need it for that. It's more or less for Max C. And then of course, so for Max C, two Gammas, 3 Ash, and the 2 Call Black. Right? That's all just for Max C. Any other hand trap, Nib's not going to beat this deck. Shifter's not going to. Duel and Lockbird would, but hardly anyone's playing Duel because of Max C. And also, missing from here is we want all 4 horse names, right? So three Meek and 3 Reichard. You could possibly get away with only having 2 in a going first version. You only need 3 in a going second version, but at least 2 is mandatory. 3 Meek is definitely mandatory. 3 Rimheart mandatory. That's your 1-card starter. You usually want to start on Calarium plus one of the either Meek or Rimheart, but if you just get Rimheart or just get Calarium, it's a 1-card starter, right? Samsara, huge. A lot of people don't run this, or you only run 1 or 2. 3 max out on Samsara. It's a starter. It's an extender. It wins you in the grind game too. 1 Visa Starfrost, because it's so searchable through like all the field spells in your combo. You don't ever need more than 1 in the best of 1 format. The only time you need more than 1 is if you're running in a format where Duel and Lockbird's an issue, or in best 2 out of 3 where you got to win the grind game. I do run the Horse Engine in this deck. The reason I run the Horse Engine is because Fenrir is only at 1, so running 3 Fenrir and Scareclaw Cash is an option. Where I love the Horse Engine because it gives you extra bodies, so you have extra material to either go into SP Little Knight, into Cross Sheep, into Crimson Dragon, because they're all level 8, so level 8 plus a 4 tuner. A Meek or Samsara is going to get you Crimson Dragon. Also, Photon Lord. That's the biggest thing I want to do right away, is get Photon Lord on the field so I have to negate before I start comboing. Going first version, Talents is huge. Great board breaker, but more or less I'm using it if I do get hand trapped, using it for the draw 2, or if I already have what I need in my hand, I'm going to rip a card out of the opponent's hand. But like I mentioned before, is I just put it back in, is you need all 4 horse names for sure, right? Because you just want to make sure you have all those extra bodies. You're not getting any free bodies off of the free body you could get off of Fenrir or Scareclaw Cashier. You're not getting, because I'm not running a Cashier engine in here. That's why I want all 4 horse names, right? So Imseti and Kingsark. Imseti's the searcher, and Kingsark is the Kingsark to use it. So really just opening Kingsark plus any horse name is pretty good, because that automatically gets you the Photon Lord. But in your combo, you're going to end up drawing at least getting to 5, 6 cards, 7 cards in hand anyway, so you have lots of discard material for Kingsark. That's why you can afford to run 3 Kingsark, and you can afford to run 3 Talents, because of you can use all those extra cards you don't need to discard to send a horse, so you can get a free body. Other reason you can afford to run 3 Talents where you're not going to brick on it is because of Manndium Imaginings. So if you want to draw 2 cards and send 1 card back is huge. That's awesome. 2 Obsidians you need, because Obsidians is getting you to your best field spell, so you want to max out on that. So Calarium, you can see I have 3 of, and I want 2 Obsidians, so that's technically giving me 6 Calarium. And Calarium and Obsidians, they all path to Rimheart, so everything leads to Rimheart. Like Snake Eyes, everything leads to Snake Eye Ash. Here you want Rimheart is your main starter, right? You want to see him going first for your first move, no matter, well, not first move, but he's what you want to see in your hand and get in your hand no matter what to combo. You can make a board without him, but it's better to have him. You're going to get a better board that can play through a lot more. You only need 2 Arrival. I kind of skip this here, but you only need 2 Scareclaw Arrival. You're usually only searching 1 in your combo. The other one you might either hard draw, or you can get off of the search from Omatara. So Rumble is what I'm adding off of Crimson Dragon. What that's doing is that's giving me access to get into clear Crystal Wing. So I have some test play videos that I'll be posting, lots of live videos showing that, but that's what he's for. Also, having Rumble and that search effect, it's a way you can dodge Imperv or Effect Veiler without using Baron's ability to negate. It's something that doesn't really happen much because people use their hand traps by them, but it is something that can come up once in a while. You only need 2 Wreck Phobias. You could get away with just 1 because it's not a brick, but opening up Wreck Phobia is not good. I like having 2 because I'm making 2 Light Hearts when I'm going, and then using one of them as discard material off of King Sark or Mseti, right? Or Mseti. So I'm hardly ever using it. It comes up in the grind game for sure, but like I said, Master Duel best of 1 format grind game. Plurino, the Teal'c's planet, is just to search Visa Starfrost. So if you've already used Calarium to search a Manndium monster, you've already used Rakphobia to search Rykard, then you need to, off the Armatara search, you need to get Plurino so you can get, or Pellerino, however you pronounce it, the Teal'c's planet, to add Visa Starfrost, right? And like I said already, 3 Clarium's the most important field spell because that gets you Visas or it gets you a Manndium monster. 3 King Sarcophagus, I described it already because with this deck, you want to get up a negate as soon as possible right away, just in case someone is playing Droll and Lockbird, because that's this deck's biggest weakness. I said Maxi is a huge weakness too, of course, but you can somewhat make a board. I mean, even if your opponent draws their entire deck, you're putting up 6-7 negates anyways, so it's gonna be tough for the opponent to go through all that, but it depends. I mean, if they draw 3 Dark Rulers, then they're gonna get through it because reframing can negate that, can just negate activation. So 2 call by, like I said already, is I'm maxing out on everything I can to stop Maxi in this version. So this is like my I want to win the coin flip and go first here. A lot of people don't run on this. I could cut reframing to get down to 45 cards, but no way whatsoever. Reframing, that's your way to stop, to prevent your board to stop Dark Ruler no more or Forbidden Droplet. So never ever would get rid of reframing. Also, its secondary effect. A lot of people forget about that, but the secondary effect of these Manndium cards is huge. I mean, being able to shuffle back 3 Manndium monsters comes up, especially in the grind game. Obsidians is your way to help play through Nib because you get a free special summon off that. And sometimes if you get a weird hand, you can use Imaginings to make Rykard or Rimheart into a tuner, where if you were stuck not being able to get Beacon to rotation or Samsara in rotation. So Imaginings, these graveyard effects do come up a lot. If you know what you're doing with Manndium, they're great. So like I mentioned already, it's for the extra deck, very synchro heavy. You could argue that Warlord Savage might be decent in here, but I don't like him because most of the time I'm using, if I ever have 2 level 4s in the field, I'm getting out Excel right away so I can go into Disbatter, and then the first time I'm making Crimson Dragon, I'm going to go into Crystal Clearwing, so I have the Spell Trap negate. So, if someone's saving their Nib, then you got Photon Lord for the Nib negate. They try to imperv it, then you use the Crystal Wing, and then if they try to effect veil, they got another hand trap on top of that, you got Baron. So putting up as many negates as possible is huge. Yes, Savage is an Omni negate, but by the time you get him on the field, you're probably only going to have 1 negate in there anyways. If you're lucky, maybe the Cross Sheep. So I don't think he's as good. I think this is much better. Plus having Chaos Angel for going second, because this deck is very resilient at going second. As you can see, I'm not running any hand traps. The only hand traps I'm running are to stop Maxi. So if there wasn't no Maxi, I'd be running nothing but board breakers in this, which I do have another deck profile on, running board breakers instead of the hand traps. Not as good, obviously, because Maxi exists in this format. You only need 2 Astrolaud because you're recycling them off of banishing it off of SP and then recycling it back off of Disbatter. So you only need the 1. In Master Duel, you probably only need 1 each turn, but I try to always have 2 live and good to go each turn. Trazuka, so mandatory is Astrolaud, Trazuka, Armatar, Baron, the 2 Light Hearts, Cross Sheep, and SP Little Knight. Definitely those are the mandatory ones. Optional stuff is Excel, Crystal Clearwing, Dispatter, Chaos Angel, Crimson, and then Photon Lord, of course. But why I play them is Photon Lord, just a free monster in the gate to get up right away for Draw and Lockbird if someone's running it, or for Nib. Crimson, I love having Crimson because I'm using him twice. I'm using him once to make Dispatter, and then a second time during my opponent's turn to make Crystal. But sometimes, like I said, if I got a great hand, I'll make Dispatter right away with this. Excel, the other good reason of running Excel is because you can play through Shifter. So if you get Shiftered or cast your Rise Hearts on the field, then you're making Excel first to go into Dispatter and then bring back what you need to make Baron from there. So you can usually still end on Dispatter plus Baron plus probably SP Little Knight or Chaos Angel, depending on how good your hand is, right? So that's the reason for that. I'm going to show, I already have some videos posted on test hands. Any questions, concerns, let me know. Posting about my second deck, of course, too, with the board breaker approach.